So we're back on the Mini, carrying on trying to resolve this issues. If you haven't seen what the problem is before this video, I shall leave a link up here somewhere to the very first video explaining where I got it from and what the issue is. So as you may have seen, we've changed the timing chain and we've also taken the supercharger off, serviced all the supercharger and changed the gaskets, but that's still causing the same running issue. A little bit more research and I've seen that a few people have had problems with the cats blocking up. So going back to the first video, when I explained when you're revving it and it's making the noise, the flexi in the downpipe was expanding. If the cat, which is a bit further back, then that flexi is blocked, it would explain why the flexi was then expanding. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking for with a blocked cat, but I think if we whip the downpipe off, the cat is all part of the downpipe and the manifold, so it's a bit of a pain. But if we whip it off, it may be obvious, it may not. So we'll have a look at getting it off. So as I said, you can't quite see the cat down there, but the flexi was expanding. I've already taken the heat shield off and I've dosed the bolts holding the manifold onto the head with WD-40 just to hopefully ease them off. So yes, notorious on various cars for snapping, which obviously I don't want to do because then that means taking the cylinder head off to drill them out. But need to lift the car up a little bit. Obviously working on driveway, I haven't got a ramp, so I've got these little ramps, so we'll just jack the car up and stick them on one side, and then hopefully we can get the cat off. Just jacking the car up one side just gives us enough room to squeeze underneath, and as you can see, I had some little helpers to help get the job done. The manifold's just held on by 10mm bolts, which luckily all came undone really easily. Just the last few bolts to get out before the manifold is off the cylinder head. I then did take the coil pack off the top of the engine and then disappear underneath the car to split the exhaust system. The idea of taking the coil pack off was I was hoping the exhaust was going to come out between the engine and the bulkhead, but this never happened and I ended up taking it out from underneath. So, exhaust is off, and I hear something which I suspect could be the reason. If you listen to this, give it a shake. I'm sure bits of the cat shouldn't be falling out, so clearly that's going to have a bit of a effect on the running, because that's clearly going to block it up, and judging by the colour of that, that's got rather hot. So have we found the issue? Taking all this off, hoping to get that out, to get it off, but yes, to say that was a pain in the arse is an understatement. So, why didn't they just split it there? I mean, it would be down here somewhere. You can get to it nice and easily in the car, and that would have been so much easier. But this clearly isn't right, is it? So now, do we get another? I already looked, and you can get a second-hand manifold, downpipe, and cat all in one off a original car for about 60 quid. But the trouble is, I don't want to get one of those and that one not be any good either. So I'm wondering whether we just cut the top off and have a look and see what's inside, and then be a gangster and decat it just to try it. And for those of you not in the UK, you have to have a yearly test on a car called a MOT, which miniature transport test, and part of it is the emissions. So the cat needs to be in there for the emissions, but it at the time of test, the certificate that you get for a year is only to say that it complies to everything at that point of the test. So a lot of people, especially on track cars, is they put the cat in for the emissions test as part of the MOT, and then they swap it out again. So we could just cut the top off, take all the guts out, and then put it back on and try it, and that should then answer whether this is causing the issue. So I think that'll be the way to go, because like I say, if I buy another second-hand one, it might not be any better than this, in which case we'd have ruled out the cat as not being the problem when we buy one that's not any good. So I think that's the way forward. So I've just done that little bit of video. I thought I'd just give it a bit more of a rattle. You can clearly hear the cat's not happy. Don't know how well I picked up the video because the wind and stuff. She's all loosey-goosey. Warm. That's not quite right, because that doesn't sit flat. Bizarre. I don't know how much of that dirt is what I've just put in there by cutting it away, but clearly wasn't right. So let's dig all that out and then get it welded up again. There. If that was blocked, that ain't going to be blocked now. My brother does tuning and fabrication work, so I use his services just to weld the cat back together. He did have a slight complaint about the size of the cutting disc I used, because it left him quite a big gap to try and fill, but he got there in the end. A very big gap. He started off just by spot welding in a few places to make sure it all fitted correctly, and then filled the gaps. I didn't bother filming refitting the exhaust because that wouldn't be the most exciting viewing. So we're now at a stage where we can drop the car down and hopefully we've resolved the problem. Now all the intake gaskets and everything have been changed, the timing's been changed, the cat's been taken out of the system. As I thought it's blocked, but still there. I don't know. Sounds a bit nicer though, now it hasn't got a cat in it, but still haven't taken up the road to see if it goes any better. But, so that'll be the next port of call, is see if it's lacking power. The exhaust is blowing a little bit, the gasket. I got a new manifold gasket and a new gasket to join the front section with the centre and rear section, but that one between the front and the centre wasn't exactly very good, so I don't know. I'm running out of ideas now, so any help would be much appreciated. So thank you very much for watching. Once again, that's a bit disappointing. All the previous jobs, doing the timing and doing the supercharger gaskets and everything like that, they're bonuses for you know, when it comes to sell the car, having those sort of things done. But obviously I've now destroyed a cat, and that hasn't fixed the problem. Nicely backfires out the exhaust anyway. But, very annoying. So do I get all the injectors checked or changed? As is it over fueling that way? So any ideas, please comment below, and thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon.